At Midlife, it can be tough. We have plenty of experience and wisdom, but we've also racked up plenty of failures. This often stunts trust in ourselves. Trust that you can do it, that this time, this way, will be different.
In this episode, we reveal why it's so common and what you can do to build trust in yourself so that your desires can become a reality. Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello, James here.
And Claire here. That sounded really, really formal. Hello.
Hello, James here.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Midlife Mentors podcast. How are you all doing out there?
We are keeping this up every week, aren't we? My goodness, I'm actually even surprising myself. No, we actually think it's really, really important to stay really focused on these podcasts. We're getting some lovely, lovely feedback. We had lockdown SOS. 2 weeks ago, we had some lovely feedback from that. So we know it's really important to stay connected with you guys and keep making you feel like you are not alone out there with the Midlife Mentors podcast. So thanks for all your feedback on that.
Now, if you are listening to this in current time, you're probably still living somewhere with coronavirus restrictions of some sort, maybe even a full lockdown. And
I think that might be for a while.
Kind of inspired this because what we're seeing from a lot of people is like anxiety levels being a bit higher this time with lockdown too in England. But that's also playing out. I think when anxiety is higher, people tend to start trusting themselves less as well. It's almost like, that external locus of control is gone. So they start losing trust on the internal as well. Yeah,
I think just on that, we are having a lot of clients and friends and everything saying that obviously this one is a little bit harder, so don't ever feel like you're alone. Whatever your circumstances, we might not have a similar boat, but we are in the same boat, and we do understand that it is a lot more difficult this time, just from the fact that we're going into winter where it's darker and cold, especially in England. So just don't feel like you're alone on finding it a lot more difficult this time, and as I said, that's really the reason that we've decided to make sure that we are committed to doing these every single week for you.
Yeah, it's good practice for us as well. It's about us being consistent and persistent.
Which is what we tell you to do all the
time.
So
we'll loop back to later. So this week we are going to be talking about trust, specifically
in ourselves.
How to trust yourselves more, and how to flick the switch on trust. So we're going to talk around the subject, as always, and then give you some actionable tips at the end.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind me jumping in, James, on this one. But we do see this so much with clients and people that we speak to on just some of our free consultation calls. There's a real desire, like a burning desire to change your circumstances. We're not just all about, as we're not at all just about the physical. So it's not just about changing how they look and how they feel comfortable in their own skin, but all their mental and emotional wellness as well. So there's a really strong desire to change. So it's not that that's not there, but it really does a lot of the time, I'd say all of the time, come down to a complete lack of trust in themselves to see something through. And the reason for that, Mr. D, is because at Midlife, we've had plenty of experiences and memories and examples in our life of where we've gone for things, us included, where we've gone for things and we feel like we've let ourselves down.
It's really interesting. I mean, if you listen to the podcast on risks, it's kind of loops into it a little bit. When we're in our teens and our 20s, we're go-getting, we're confident, we don't have the experience or the wisdom.
That's right.
So we'll go for anything, but we're playing to win. This is what we say in our risk podcast. Whereas when we get older, we've got that whole thing of playing not to lose. But also, I think, we've learnt in some areas not to trust ourselves as much. And particularly in the area of, diet, body goals, fitness, because so many of the people we talk to have yo-yo dieted.
They're locked in this vicious cycle.
Yeah, they've done this, they've done that. Maybe they've got there for a bit and it's gone, or they've just failed to get there altogether. So, like Claire said, experience and wisdom, but also experience of, in inverted commas, failure.
Yeah, and that kind of feeling of, oh my goodness, I just can't do that to myself again. I've not been able to see it through time and time again. Why is this time going to be any different? Why is this process going to be any different? And I just don't think I can set myself up for that level of failure and humiliation anymore. And it all comes down to that lack of trusting yourself. And, we see it in our own lives as well. So we're not immune from this at all. And it is, you can kind of, when we see clients on the calls with us, even ones that are on the Midlife method or people that we speak to, you can really, really see that sense of like holding themselves back. And it's truly nothing to do with what you're saying you can do with them and partner with them. It's actually that lack of trust. Yeah, that's why we really wanted to do a podcast on it, because it's something that is potentially really, really holding you back listening to this as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we see it all the time, and not just on our program, but just in general. People will really want to go for something, and they get all the information, and in their head they've committed. Then, at the last moment, they kind of talk themselves out of it. And we've certainly done that. I'm sure you've got examples of that. But then you spend the next few weeks, months in going, oh, should I have done it? Should I have done it? Here's the thing, if you don't, you will never know. So listen, what's happened, if you tried lots of things in the past and failed at them in one way or another, then of course, not only are you then cynical because the approaches haven't worked for you in the past, but more importantly, you've stopped trusting yourself. And that's where it gets really interesting, because people just think, going back to the body goals one, it's like, if I could just find that diet or that workout that will work for me.
The Holy Grail.
Yeah, the Holy Grail, that one. And that's what keeps people on the internet or on Facebook going, oh, this new one that's being advertised, I'm going to try this.
Analysis paralysis of just kind of looking over and over and over again at like a magpie. Keep going for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing.
Exactly. But this is where it gets really interesting. You do not need another diet plan or another workout plan. And I can say that with absolute confidence.
Yeah, that is not what's missing, guys. That is not where you are going wrong. It is not why you aren't succeeding. It is not the thing you are following or the thing that you are doing.
No.
Guess what it is?
It is your lack of self-belief in yourself.
Yeah.
And because that is underpinning everything, guess what? You go out and you buy that new diet book or download that new workout plan. Sure, it may feel like it's working for a bit, but sooner or later, it will stop working because you're still holding on to that belief of, this is something I can't do. Yeah,
your self-identity basically is wrapped around a belief that you are someone that fails at this. You are someone that fails at eating healthily. You are someone that fails at consistently exercising as it part of your lifestyle. You're someone that fails in taking risks and taking yourself to the next level in your work, your career, your entrepreneurship. That's that really, really ingrained self-belief that you are someone that fails at this.
Yeah, I'm sure that is resonating with a lot of you there. Listen, but it's not your fault, right? Like we were saying before, you've got years of experience of trying and doing things that worked for a little bit and then didn't. So you've got those years of failure kind of racked up, and your self-conscious, your subconscious will be holding on to those and be like, oh, you're going to go for it again. I'm not sure if that's a great idea, which is why that nagging voice of fear, the inner critic, becomes louder and louder and louder. And it's not your fault, actually, even from the perspective of we're in a world of complete consumerism. We are in a world where everyone's shouting louder, making loads of noise, going, try me, look at me, I'm the next secret, I'm the next big thing, try me. And they're all playing on the doing part of what you're doing. They're all playing on you acting in a certain way rather than looking at the complete bit inside of you, the gem, the nugget which is inside of you that no amount of doing can change. Listen, here is the thing. This is why we can categorically say, if you are looking for that transformation, particularly in lockdown, you're probably thinking, lockdown one, I know how I felt, I know how much weight I put on, I know how sluggish I felt, I don't want that again. But it is not a diet or a workout plan you need. You need to start addressing your beliefs and flicking the switch on your self-belief. I cannot tell you how important this is. And this is actually,
You know what? James and I are constantly learning and evolving with the program that we do and how we help clients. I tell you what, it is this part of what we do. It's actually our passion, to be honest, because we do know it is the crux of transformation. The sustainable transformation is this mindset stuff. Okay, you cannot outdo this mindset stuff. It is 80% mindset, 20% doing, and that's why you keep getting stuck, and that's why you keep losing trust in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people tell themselves that the workouts are hard. You know what? You are going to have to work hard. People tell themselves like following nutritional coaching is going to be hard. They're not going to be able to eat certain things as much as they were. Sure, the hardest thing is doing the internal work, but it is the most important because paradoxically, doing that hardest bit makes everything else easier because you shift your beliefs and it becomes a lifestyle. We're so passionate about this. We get people approaching us all the time going,
Yes.
I don't really care about the mindset stuff. I just want a workout plan or a meal plan or a meal plan. And we're just like, sorry.
We're not for you.
No, we're not for you.
Yeah. And we're really, really strong about that and getting stronger because we see the results of actually changing the internal stuff of clients, don't we?
Totally. So what you need to do now is ask yourself, am I happy? Happy with who I am? What I look like? What I'm feeling like inside? Where I am in my life? You know what, if you are, then great. You don't need to do anything else.
I imagine most of you aren't. There's always areas for involvement and improvement.
Yeah, exactly. So if there is an area for improvement, growth, whatever we want to call it, it's decision time. And decision time not to chase after the next new shiny object, but actually ask yourself, do you want to stay unhappy or do you want to be happy? Because here's the thing, the next shiny object is only going to make you happy for a microsecond at a time before you fail again and makes you more unhappy. If you truly want to be happy, it's time to get serious and address your beliefs and your self-identity and start believing it in yourself and your ability to do it.
Yeah, and trusting yourself again, because if you don't have that, like James said, you're in this hamster wheel that you're not going to be able to get off of.
So 2 reasons why people don't go things. There's multitudes of reasons, but 2 reasons to do with trust is they'll find the method, the program to get to where they want to go, and then they'll become, I'm not sure if I do trust it or not. And
sometimes that's an excuse, though.
Well, it is. I say, but this is strongly wrapped up in number 2, which is you don't trust yourself to actually follow through on it.
Yeah.
How do you know? Well, here's what we'd say. If you can see something that you can see has worked for other people that are similar to you, but you're somehow doubting it will work for you, that's about the approach or the program. That's about you not trusting yourself.
Absolutely, it's a signpost that you've lost trust in yourself. And it is really sad when people use all these tools. Again, completely normal. We use all these kind of covert excuses. To try and convince ourselves that actually it's something outside of ourselves that's preventing us from moving forward. But actually, it is always, like James said, if you can see that someone else has followed a proven method or got somewhere that you want to get to, you see it's possible. So actually, if it's possible for them, why isn't it possible for you? And that is because you lack trust in yourself to follow through.
Yeah. And this is one of the areas, this is the area we help people with the most when we're coaching them and running them through our program. The training and nutrition really is secondary. Interesting, that's the thing people come for, but it's really secondary. Having belief...
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. Having belief in yourself ensures not only your progress, but your long-term success. So you need to work on your mindset and do the internal work as well as the external. Because, of course, here's the thing, we have a big focus on the internal here, change your beliefs and all that, but you
20% of that is still
you've still got to do the external work as well. But here's
you can't
the thing.
just think yourself into a slim, healthy, happy body and life, can you?
If only you could. If only you could. But we said to you, just doing the external will not work. It will not work categorically. So you need to do the internal and the external at the same time. Otherwise, you're just going to repeat the same pattern. If you just follow the next shiny object syndrome, you're just repeating the same pattern, you'll fail again, you're reinforcing that lack of trust in yourself.
So, here's a question. What would it feel like to succeed?
Can you let yourself just go there for a moment? Really go into the feeling of it. Really imagine what it would feel like to be in a healthy, body, feeling confident, feeling energized,
feeling excited about life and connected with your life experience.
and then finding that staying that way becomes effortless because your beliefs are on board with it. How amazing would that be?
So really take a moment, you can pause this if you want, to honestly allow yourself right now to feel like, to go into that feeling place, feel what it's like to succeed. Go there, imagine it, see it, feel it, and allow yourself to really, really encompass that. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? So this is what we do every single day, guys. Like, we're massive, massive advocates of affirmations and visualization. So we're just giving you a moment there to really, really go into that place and really know what it feels like to that be a part of who you are, trusting that is part of who you now are.
We're also going to give you some tips to help you achieve this. I think we've got 10 here, actually.
Ooh.
So the first is, and we see this on a lot, is drop comparison. Be yourself and focus on yourself only. Then no one else is in this race. And that's really hard because, we look at our friends, we look at social media, we look at mainstream media, and we can get drawn into this whole comparison thing. Stop it.
Yeah,
it's you.
Exactly. And that's like about trusting that you are in the right place at the right time in your own process of everything, of life. Comparing yourself completely takes that trust away from your own journey.
Totally. Be honest about your beliefs, the beliefs you have right now, and your self-identity. A lot of us will try and brush this under the carpet. But here's the thing: if you have yo-yo darted for years, or you've got a habit of starting things and dropping them, there is something in there you need to look at in terms of your beliefs and start looking at how you change that.
Why don't you trust yourself?
So
what's
honest.
happened? Why don't you trust yourself, guys? I'm asking you that now. Have a think about it. The next one is actually model the beliefs you think you'll need to succeed. So we've done this. We've spoken about this before, but this is really, really important. So actually, maybe looking at someone that has achieved the things that you want to achieve, and just think about the beliefs that you think that they would have about themselves. You don't need to know them personally, but actually think, what beliefs do they need to have to have succeeded and actually have that trust in themselves? Because trust takes time, okay, as well. I know I'm jumping ahead here, but trust takes time and consistency. But actually modelling the beliefs of someone will get you started.
Exactly. Once you have those beliefs, affirm them daily and visualise yourself achieving them as well. So affirm and visualise.
Yeah, and set doable, realistic plan for these reasonable goals. Chunk them down. Again, a lot of you lose trust in yourselves because you are looking at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
It is too hard for you to visualise the top of the mountain because a lot of the time your subconscious mind cannot contemplate the top of the mountain, right? So that's why you lose trust in yourself, because your target is almost too high. You need to know where you're going, but you need to chunk it down into realistic goals for you. As you achieve those in 2-week incremental goals, as you achieve those, you build trust in yourself. That's why most of you fail as well, and keep thinking, I can't do this, and lose trust in yourself.
Yeah. So once you've got your plan, your strategy, actually action it, carry it out, right? So a plan without action remains a plan. So you must carry it out. But here's a tip within that. While you're doing your new actions, affirm them, because there's a link between the affirmation and the action to do with congruence theory. So you want to affirm while you're doing it, doing the affirmations while you're doing the action.
Exactly, and that mindset of, I'm trusting myself here. I'm trusting, hang on a minute. There's an action that reflects the fact that I'm trusting myself. So it's all about building that self-trust. Be kind to yourself, okay? I have to say, I am sometimes not good at this either. James is laughing. Be kind to yourself and practice self-compassion.
Really, really important.
Listen, there are going to be times when you just... we set expectations for ourselves. We've done a whole another podcast on expectations. We set expectations for ourselves, and sometimes just life gets in the way. Okay, that is just going to happen. You need, imagine what you would say to a friend, right? Some of the things we say to ourselves, we would not say to our worst enemy.
I was going to say that we hear this all the time, and we know it's true. I know it's true from my personal experience.
The inner critic.
The voice in your head.
It's nasty
will say,
and mean.
Yeah, say the vilest things that no one would ever say to you in real life. So we have to be careful not to give that voice too much volume.
Yeah, because life does get in the way and things come up. I've experienced this in the last couple of weeks particularly. That's why James was laughing, because actually I have to really, really focus on practicing self-compassion, don't I? My inner critic is something that, I know is there, and I have lots of tactics and techniques to quieten it down. But actually just not allowing it completely to throw you off course and for you to say mean things to yourself and take them on board is really important, because if you do, you're going to stop. And we know what we need to do. We need to stop stopping. And then you're going to stop and then lose trust in yourself even more. It's that reinforcement of that lack of trust. So we do not want to listen to that inner critic. We need to practice self-compassion.
And as you said there, stopping. This is the next point. Be persistent. At times, that inner critic will get so loud that you'll be like, oh, do you know what? I'll just stop. Do not. When it gets louder and louder, just keep going. Even if it's doing the smallest action towards your goal. If you've said you're gonna hit the gym for like a big workout 5 times a week or something like that, which you don't need to do, by the way.
Absolutely.
But just still go, but just say, you know what, I'll go in and I'll do 15 minutes or something, and then you'll find you're just reinforcing back to your subconscious that you are still carrying through on it. So be persistent.
And the other one, be persistent, but also be consistent as well. So you've got to be persistent with it, but be consistent. So, it's not like we just say all the time, it is a marathon, not a sprint, okay? That consistency builds up, it's cumulative. So it's over time, those little wins are going to help you develop trust in yourself.
Small steps.
Celebrate the small victories that help you build trust in yourself. Consistency builds self-trust.
I think it was Seneca who wrote a letter every day to one of his friends to encourage him always to find something positive from every day. And one of those he writes about the small things over time add up to be something big. And it's about being consistent, about doing it day after day after day. It's no use going, oh, you know what, I'll affirm my beliefs on Monday, then I might check in 2 weeks' time and do it again. No. Every day, and it doesn't have to take you a lot of time.
And that kind of loops around to whole being realistic and setting out a doable plan, and a realistic plan that's kind of like 2 week goals, because that's a lot easier to be consistent with when they are realistic. And what you want to do, you kind of want to, your subconscious mind's like a little child, it's like a 6-year-old child. It needs to be nurtured and it needs to be said, well done, that was really good today. You need to trust yourself a little bit more because today you did really, really well. So what can you achieve tomorrow? What can you do? It just helps kind of nurturing that trust in yourself.
Last one, be patient. The change will come. If you're doing all the above, the change will come. A lot of us expect change to come too fast. Again, like we live in a fast-paced society. One thing that has been beneficial, I think, out of the whole corona is like everyone's slowed down a bit, but just don't force it. Don't hang on too tight to it. Just be patient. The change will come both inside and outside. But it's that inside change that is really going to make the difference for long term.
Yeah, and also I would just say, actually, just look back over your past. This is quite a good thing to kind of develop a little bit of self-trust. Look over your past and look at actually how far you have come. The things that you have changed, the things that you have achieved, times of darkness that you've overcome with small little steps. Because actually what we tend to do all the time is kind of look at things and go, oh, I haven't come that far. I wish I was here. I wish I'd done that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. Not very helpful because that's the inner critic again. But actually going, look at where I have come from. That helps develop trust as well. This is a really, really important thing to talk about, guys. I hope you found that helpful and useful.
I really hope so. I know what inspired us, but coming back to the beginning of it, we're inspired by this because we just see so many people at the moment really wanting, really desiring to make those positive changes in their lives, but they're letting their lack of trust in themselves undermine them. So if you've got a big goal, something you want to do, just check in with yourself. Is it not that the goal's too big, or not that you don't trust the methodology, or what? Is it a lack of trust in yourself? And that lack of trust is probably not deserved. So what can you do to start trusting yourself more and going for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, what was it I was going to say then? I wanted to say one other thing about sometimes with trust, I think we can, because we've lost self-trust and self-belief, we can, as I said, put all these excuses and all these obstacles in our way and think that there's going to be a better time. There's going to be a better way. There's going to be a time when I've got more money, I've got more support, I've got more self-belief, I've got more self-confidence. And again, that's just that they're all masquerading as a lack of trust in yourself, okay? So what I would say there is all of those are your subconscious mind holding you back into a place of safety and security because you don't want to fail again, because you don't want that humiliation to a degree, because you don't want to feel sad and down about yourself again. Sometimes it's a lot easier just to stay stuck. Well, you think it's a lot easier to stay stuck where you are than to get off the starting blocks. Here's a reality check for you. You're not going to trust yourself again until you get off the starting blocks. You are not going to trust yourself again until you take a step forward. The trust doesn't come first. It comes after you start making some moves towards what you deserve in life and the things that you really desire. So I just really wanted to say that waiting for trust ain't going to work either. You just need to move. You need to move, guys. And as always, we're here to support you. We know what it feels like to be in these positions. It's hard, but, you know, always reach out. We're always here for you.
We are, and actually we've just redone our website. So if you go to themidlifementors.com, you can actually now listen to the podcast on there as well.
Which is quite fancy.
You've got contact forms so you can find out to get in touch with us. It's got the links to all our social, including our amazing Facebook community, the Midlife Mentors community.
There's some beautiful stuff going on there, isn't there? We're doing, actually, this will go live when we're still doing our Sunday sessions.
Yes, at the moment we're doing Coffee with Claire and James on a Sunday morning, 10 a.m. UK time, like a little Facebook live into that community. So go check out the website. Reach out to us, and we're just sending you so much love.
We've got your back, guys. You can do this. Sending you lots of love. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you. So drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors.
Yeah.